Let's begin in a comfortable, upright seated position, just sitting on your mat or maybe a block or a pillow. Draw length to your spine and close your eyes. Let's start with a pranayama technique called ujjayi breathing. It's a slight restriction of the back of your throat to make a light whisper on your inhale and your exhale. Continuing with your ujjayi breathing, set an intention for your practice, for it to be meditative and a healing practice. Open your eyes and slowly make your way all the way down onto your back. Knees hug up into your chest, give them a little squeeze, and then bring your arms out like a T, gluing the shoulder blades down, and then start with some small trunk rotations. Get a sense that there's a corset wrapping around the softer part of your center, and then feel as if there's a zipper zipping up the front line to really keep the integrity of your spine and your low back as you continue to move your knees side to side. Maybe as the knees go to the side, you exhale and then inhale back to center. Really try to get plugged in with your breath and the movements. Allow your feet to drop down to the mat and then extend one leg down long, really squeezing it straight as you squeeze in and zip up that corset. And then slowly switch sides, beginning to move with your breath in a kicking and marching type of motion, but really being cognizant of where your lower belly is, getting that sense that you're drawing it in and up and moving fluidly with your breath. Slowly roll over onto your side and come into your tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Really feel your hands and feet firmly rooted, and then start with some cat-cow movements to really get your spine warmed up. Inhaling, dropping your belly, look forwards, and then exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and pull the belly up. Continue to move with your breath, and then just notice some areas that you're tight and start to try to really work into those areas, starting to really warm up your whole spine and getting it ready for practice. Slowly drawing back to neutral, we'll work with the balance a little. Extend the left arm and the right leg, and then really binding up through that corset, keeping that integrity of your spine as you work with your balance. Slowly switch sides, and then notice any different side to side. Release down, and again switch sides. Slowly draw back to center, and then extend your left foot to plant behind your right. Extend your left arm straight up towards the sky, stacking shoulders, stacking hands. Feel the lower belly draw in and up and keep your breath steady. Slowly release it down and then switch sides. The right foot plants behind the left, and now the right arm reaches up, stacking shoulders, allowing your neck to be long and strong, and you're breathing. Slowly release it down. Tuck the toes under and press back to your first downward facing dog. The fingers are spreading wide, hands are shoulder width or a little wider than shoulder width apart, and the feet are hips distance apart. Pedal out your feet and make any small movements you feel like you need to make to really wake up your body, stretching out the backs of your legs. If there's any pressure in your low back, just put a little bit more of a bend in your knees. On your next inhale, gaze forward and slowly walk to the front of your mat. Inhale to a strong flat back, and then exhale, forward fold. Press through your feet as you rise to stand, sweep the arms up and over, and exhale the hands to center chest. With your feet hips distance apart, feel as if there's a string at the back of the crown of your head, drawing your spine up tall. Feel your heels and your feet firmly rooted, and that lower belly drawing in and up. Keep your feet where they are, stack your knees over your ankles, and then sit back into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Arms are reaching overhead, but the shoulders are softening away from the ears. And now let's twist out the spine. Left elbow to the inside of the left knee, and then maybe you drop your left arm and reach your right arm overhead. Continue to move with your breath, slow and steady with your ujjayi breathing. Back to center and take it to the opposite side, planting the elbow, reaching the arms if you did so on the other side, and then really allowing for length in your spine as you continue to twist. Lower belly dragging in and up to support. Back to center and forward fold. Inhale to a strong flat back, and then reach your left leg back, lowering down onto your knee for a low lunge. First, stacking your hands on your knee, lower belly drawing in and up so you don't collapse into your lower back, and then reach the arms overhead. Feel a stretch across your chest, but very much so in the front of your left hip, long and strong with your breath. From here, we'll take another twist. Right arm reaches behind, left arm reaches forward, shoulders soften away from the ears. Left hand plants down, right arm reaches overhead, stacking shoulders, stacking wrists. Either stay down onto your back knee, or maybe you tuck the toes under and squeeze your left leg straight, lifting your knee. Allow the breath to be long and strong, as now the right hand plants, right leg sweeps back. Take a high plank, lower halfway down with control, press back up to your high plank, back to your downward dog. Slowly walk to the front of your mat. Inhale to a flat back and exhale forward fold. Press through your feet as you reach back up to your chair pose. Long and strong with the breath. And then take your hands to interlace behind your head and neck. Press the head into the hands. Press the elbows back and open up the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Plant the hands. Now step the right leg back. Low lunge. Just as you did before, now feeling the stretch on the front of the right hip. Feeling the psoas right in the front of the right hip crease. Lower belly drawing in and up to keep the integrity of your spine. And now again, we'll twist it out. Right arm reaches forwards this time. Left arm reaches back. Shoulders soften away from the ears and use a lot of breath to twist. Now the right hand plants. Left arm reaches overhead. Continue to draw the lower belly in and up, and with every exhale, spinning a little further. Left hand plants. Sweep the left leg back and take a high plank. Drop to your knees as you lower all the way down to your belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Maybe you lift your palms for a baby cobra, and then pressing back to a child's pose. Bring the knees a little wider than the feet, toes come together to touch. Arms reach out in front, and the forehead rests right down on the mat. If you have trouble reaching your forehead down, just stack your hands on top of one another and stack the forehead on top of the hands. Allow yourself to just breathe here. Slowly draw yourself back up. Step your right foot to your right hand to take a warrior one. Your back foot is at 45 degrees facing the front of your mat. And really get the integrity of the arches of your feet here, pressing into the outside edge of that back foot. And then take the hands to the center of your chest and a big, smooth step to the front of your mat. Resetting that length of your spine and really becoming the tallest and strongest version of yourself. Inhale, the arms sweep overhead, and exhale to a forward fold. Inhale to a flat back, and then step back to a high plank. Always the option to drop to your knees as you lower all the way down to your belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades to a cobra. Plant the hands, press it back to a down dog. Slowly drop to your knees in order to transition to a warrior one on the opposite side. When you set up your warrior one, allow that back knee to really squeeze straight, keeping the integrity of your right knee joint. That outside edge of the right foot presses down, and a lot of space across the front line of your body. A smooth and mindful step to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a strong flat back, and then step back, high plank, all the way down to your belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the palms, and then plant the hands and press it back, down dog. Allow your breath to be slow and steady. Right leg lifts, step it forward this time to a warrior two, meaning that the back foot is at about 90 degrees, outside edge of the foot parallel with the outside edge of the mat. Stack the shoulders over the hips and begin to settle in, feeling a bit of spiraling backwards of both thighs to turn on the glutes. The lower belly zips in and up as we transition to a triangle. Find a slight turning in of the back toes, just about 10 degrees, and straighten your front knee. Lower your right hand, reaching down, left arm reaching up. Shoulders are stacked, spine is lengthening out of the crown of your head. Your breath is steady. Small bend in your knee to draw yourself back up and take a big, smooth step back up to the front of your mat. Slowly switch sides, stepping back with your right leg into your warrior two. Arms are wide, legs are wide, really taking up as much room as you possibly can, but at the same time, drawing the legs in towards one another to get a sense of integrity, lower belly drawing in and up, even a sense of the pelvic floor drawing up towards the crown of the head. Slowly move into your triangle by turning the back foot in about 10 degrees, straightening out your front knee, and then reaching the left hand down, right arm reaches overhead. Really try to keep your body in one line, almost like you're a piece of bread in the toaster, so the chest doesn't collapse forwards and there's no dropping forwards of the arms. Slowly draw yourself back up, and a big step takes you to the front of the mat. Length to your spine, and a steadiness to your breath. Let's move into balance, shifting your weight to your right leg. Draw your left knee up towards your chest. And once you feel steady, begin to kick that left leg back into a bird pose. Keep your eyes fixated on one single point and keep your breath steady. Use your Uddiyana Bandha, that sense of a corset, to keep strong through the center. Slowly draw back and release the left leg down. Switch sides. Focusing the eyes, focusing the breath, and then kick strong in that back leg. Squeeze strong in the arms, even give a little squeeze of the shoulder blades to help out. Steady the breath and steady your mind. Slowly draw back to center and release the foot down. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, gaze lifts, chest lifts, and forward fold all the way down. Inhale to a flat back, and then plant the hands. Take a high plank. Halfway down, press back up high plank, and press back to your down dog. Slowly drop down to your knees. Swing the legs out forwards to have a seat, and with control, slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your back. Once you make it all the way down, draw the feet in towards your bottom. Keep your feet hips distance apart, second toe facing forwards. Draw the lower belly in and up to engage in that corset, and then begin to press your hips up into your bridge pose. Maybe you interlace your hands underneath, walking the flesh of the shoulders a bit closer towards one another, and then allow yourself to breathe, feeling length in your neck and feeling length in your breath. Slowly lower yourself all the way down. Maybe you hug your knees into your chest if you need a little release of the spine. And then when you're ready, working back up into a second bridge. If that felt comfortable to work your shoulders a little closer towards one another, do so here. As a second bridge, maybe you take a little bit more height, feeling a stretch in the front hip crease, but no pressure in your lower back. Slowly lower all the way back down. To work into a supine pigeon, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Weave through that space you've created in order to take hold of the back of your left thigh. Use a lot of breath here to work into that flexibility of the outside of your right hip. Notice your neck and your shoulders, and be sure you're not clenching. Be sure you're not clenching in your jaw. Release that pigeon and switch sides. Just noticing any differences you feel side to side, and then give a squeeze of the shoulder blades to use the bigger muscles of your back in order to draw the hips in towards the chest. Feel the opening on the outside of your left hip and give it a lot of breath. Use your breath as a tool to find more space here. Slowly release. Rock all the way up to a seated position, or you can roll over onto your side in order to get up. Drawing length to your spine, draw the soles of your feet together and allow the knees to drop off to the side. First, allow length, drawing length through your spine, the knees press down. Maybe you stay right there. Or maybe you take a forward fold, reaching your chest over your feet and using your breath to find more space. Drawing length on your inhales, and then exhale, folding forward a bit further. Slowly draw the knees back together in order to take a twist. Left leg extends out straight, and then the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. With every exhale, feel more of a twist in the spine. Feel the compression of the abdomen. And draw your gaze towards your right shoulder, feeling a twist through the whole spine. Slowly release and switch sides. And as you twist, focus on peeling the left shoulder blade back so there's no tightening in the upper traps where the shoulder meets the neck. Continue drawing length with your right leg and really finding space between your thoughts here. Draw back to center and roll all the way down onto your back. Hug your right knee into your chest and then extend the legs straight up. Draw the toes back towards your shin to feel a lengthening in the whole back side of your right leg, getting into the hamstring and the calf. The breath is steady and the mind is clear. Slowly switch sides, just noticing any difference that you feel side to side, and then bring a lot of breath to that tightness in the back of the leg. Slowly draw both knees to hug up to your chest. Your arms are out like a T, just as we began. Start with some more trunk rotations. This time your body has been through quite a process, so maybe you feel that you can go a lot further than you could at the beginning. Continuing to move with that corset control, moving with your breath, maybe feeling a lot more space in your body. Now for a supine twist. Hug your right knee into your chest and draw it over towards the left as you draw your gaze towards the right. Allow yourself really to be supported by the ground here. And just let yourself go a little bit more than you did before. Slowly draw the left knee up and switch sides. Just noticing any difference side to side. Take an inventory of your body. And then back to center to set up for your Shavasana. The legs come down the mat, the arms come down the mat, the palms facing up, and then begin to let go even more. No longer are you controlling your breath. but feel as the breath effortlessly enters and exits. Slowly scan through your body, beginning to let go of more and more of the tension from the crown of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, creating space not only in your body, but also in your mind.